Now, welcome back. We're going to continue on with the road that's being paved to Psalm 83 war. There was another article that came out of the Ynet News out of Israel about arms. Again, I just talked about how the Palestinians were getting arms from different places like Turkey. They're shipping it to Syria, and obviously Syria is mentioned in Psalm 83 in verse 8. As being one of the nations who are going to be attacking Israel during the last days, and this Psalm 83 war. Now listen to this article. It says, weapons were found on an Iranian cargo plane forced to land in southeast Turkey on Saturday. Now Iran is actually the nation that's propagating the destruction of Israel. They're sending arms. They got military equipment there, and they're the satellite nation of Lebanon, and they're a satellite nation, obviously, of Syria. And they got all of these nations are tied together. They got fantastic relationships with each other, and they all have one goal in mind, and that's the destruction of Israel. They've been working towards that goal for a long time. So it doesn't surprise me at all that there's been another one of these vehicles trying to get weapons into Israel again for her destruction in this up-and-coming war. It says Turkish media reported Tuesday. And according to the reports, the arms plane left Tehran, which is obviously the capital of Iran, with military ammunition for Syria. Several crates containing weapons and ammunition were removed from the aircraft. Turkish media reported that the plane was forced to land in a military airfield at the United Nations request following information indicating it was carrying nuclear materials. It was further reported that the rocket launchers, mortars, rifles, and explosive materials were found in one of the main cabinets on the plane. Now, obviously, if Israel's been hit with 124 rockets or mortars since January, they're getting this equipment that's being funneled in from Iran. Now, as I said before in my previous videos, Iran is not mentioned in the Psalm 83 war, but they're instigating the move to generate this war. But Syria is mentioned in it. Egypt is mentioned in it. The Palestinians are mentioned in it. And you're seeing arms being caught almost on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, heading in towards these areas of the enemies of Israel. And they're using these arms more and more, as we just got through seeing for the last couple of weeks. Now let me go on to a Depka file, and this will help you understand what is going on in the Middle East. It says just 2 days after two Iranian ships reached the Syrian port of Eterka via the Suez Canal Friday, which took place in February of 2011, and an Iranian-Syria naval cooperation accord was signed providing for Iran to build its first Mediterranean naval base at the Syrian port, the Depka file military and Iranian sources reveal. So you have a permanent base that many of you missed this news that has been generated in Syria. A permanent base by the nation of Iran who's working for the destruction of Israel. It says the base will include a large Iranian Revolutionary Guards weapon depot stopped with hardware chosen by the IRGC, subject to prior notification to Damascus. It says Latakia Harbor will be deepened, widened, and provided with new coastal installations to accommodate large warships and submarines destined to use these facilities. Iran has much to celebrate. Decca's Files military sources report it has acquired its first military foothold on the Mediterranean shore and its first predominant military presence on the Syrian soil. Tehran will be setting in place the logistical infrastructure for accommodating incoming Iranian troops to fight in a potential Middle East war. That potential Middle East war is the Psalm 83 war. There is no question whatsoever. Iran is moving to the north, and they're going to send more of these arms that they've already been sending there, so that they can get these arms in the hands of the Palestinians, into the Lebanese government, so that they can use them against Israel. If you cannot see what's happening, you are completely blind and oblivious to the word of the Lord, and you will be caught off guard when this takes place. And my job is to hopefully to give you this information, to connect the dots, the warning between God and the current events, because they are happening right now. The road, without a question, is being paved for this next war. It says, according to our sources, the Cadets, the Card Cruiser, one of the 2 Iranian warships allowed to transit the Suez Canal, was said to be were in fact the first construction crews for building the new port facilities. So they're getting ready. They're moving equipment. They're moving warships armed with all kinds of arms that will be used against the next potential war. And I'm telling you, that potential war is in fact going to be the Psalm 83 war. It hasn't been fulfilled yet. There's an alignment going on right now in the Middle East. And if you don't believe in the Lord, you don't believe in his warnings, just stay tuned, because you are going to see this war take place unless you die by, natural causes of disease, whatever. But unless you don't get sick and you don't die soon, you're going to see the Psalm 83 war being played out. And it's going to happen, and it's going to end the way the Lord shows us. Israel is not going to get eliminated. Their name is not going to be erased off the record books like Iran is hoping, and all these other nations like Hamas and Hezbollah and the Fatah, all these Palestinian factions who are working, and those are the ones that are sending these mortar and attacks against the Israelis. Now, when you scroll down, when you get to my website, you're going to see a video by Glenn Beck that is a really good video that shows the bias against Israel. And this will be partly in fulfillment of Ezekiel or Zechariah 12:3, where all the nations will be coming against Israel in the last days. So scroll down and watch that video with Glenn Beck. Thanks.